Welcome to my Brooklyn kitchen. Today I'm doing something really annoying, but I had an idea that I wanted to eat ice cream. I don't have any ice cream in my freezer. I'm realizing that might be a red flag to some people. So, although I don't know if having like weird quarts of homemade ice cream in your freezer is any more normal. But anyway, today we're gonna make sweet cream ice cream with a strawberry rhubarb swirl, or that's what I'm gonna try to do. And these are beautiful strawberries that I got from the farmer's market. Rhubarb, not from the farmer's market. I have eggs from the farmer's market in there, but they're from something else. This is just your regular egg. And that's it.
Farmer's market time. Go down to the farmer's market to see what we can find.
Okay, so this is going to be a long one, and the results are going to be in a different video as I usually do. So just, yeah, you know, whatever. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the base. So we don't need the rhubarb and strawberries right now. So let's see. Okay. So we're gonna get, the recipe calls for 5 yolks, but I'm gonna do 6. Because, I actually don't need this right now. I just want it to be a little richer, so that's the idea. So, and save your whites, obviously. For meringue, for clarifying and for making consommé, obviously. Oh dear. Okay. Oh no. Okay. See if this happens. If it breaks, then you have to use your whites to make an omelet. You're not going to be able to use them to make like anything really voluminous. Although you could probably hide them in a angel food cake or something, but it would have to be if only like a tiny part of one broke. Maybe not. Actually, don't. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. I don't think it's going to get the volume that you really want. But an omelet in the morning is also nice. Whatever you want to do. These are room temperature eggs. Okay, so now we're gonna add 50% of our sugar, total sugar. So this is 6 egg yolks. We're gonna do 50 grams of sugar in here, and then we're gonna do 50 grams of sugar in the milk and cream mixture. You could maybe do a little more. I don't know why I'm splitting it up. It's like the recipe that I said that I was reading split them up. So I'm splitting it up. I don't know if it was that exact ratio. I'm just actually trying to figure it out. Okay. The recipe I had was like a really large recipe, and so I had to make it smaller. So that's why I'm not really following it exactly. Oh, I know. You don't want to put too much sugar in here because the sugar crystals won't dissolve. That's why, I think. So that's why I don't put too much in the egg whites. I'll show you this in a second. I'm gonna let this just sit because as it sits, the sugar will dissolve, and I don't really want to whip a bunch of air. Oh, I forgot to post something today. Anyway, I'll do it later. I don't want to whip too much air into these egg yolks because we want the ice cream base to be not too airy, like really dense and have that nice dense texture. So if you want something like lighter and fluffier, that's different, and you could do something different, like well, you could just do something different. I'm not going to make a recommendation because I've never tried to do that, but you know, play around, whip the cream up a little bit if you want. Who knows? I don't know if that's going to make a difference. You try it out. Okay. Let's see what we got here. This is I think too big a pot for the... You don't want it too small, but you don't want it too large either. Okay. Oh. Nice. We have to cook these eggs and the milk and cream together. So you don't want there to be too much surface area because the eggs will cook too quickly. If there's just like a really thin layer of ice cream base in a big pot, the whole mixture is it's going to be hard to control the temperature of the mixture. So but you also don't want something where your ice cream base is gonna, because it's milk, it really shouldn't come to a boil, but anyway, it's always hard to work in a container when it's filled to the brim. So you want to leave yourself a little bit of space also. So we're doing 250 grams each of milk and heavy cream. You wouldn't want to do all heavy cream, even though that does sound better. in your head you're like, whoa, I'm making ice cream, why would I not just do all cream? The flavor actually isn't as nice, and I think it's just too fatty with the eggs, and you don't get the right, it's not the right chemistry. It doesn't taste as good, not as good. That's it. That's my opinion. I mean, you can do a full only cream ice cream, but you would not put the eggs in it. And still it's not as good. Okay. Perfect. This is a pot with milk in it. Milk and cream. Not doing a close-up for you for that. Okay. Now we're gonna add our sugar into here. Sugar kind of, my theory on why they separated the sugar, other than that it may not completely dissolve in the egg yolks, is because sugar is kind of like a lubricant. it like helps, it's gonna help the eggs emulsify into the milk. Like if they both have sugar in them, the whole mixture is going to be happier together than if one is like filled with sugar, like one part is filled with sugar and the other part doesn't have any at all. I think. I'm not a professionally trained dancer, can you believe it? I am a professionally trained dancer. Can you believe it? Okay, great. Oh, that was a little aggressive. Now what you want to do is mix this up. Mixy. Add a little salt. I'm actually really happy I'm making it. This morning I was like, Morg, why are you making ice cream instead of just like making strawberry jam and like calling it a day? But it's just like always it's just what I feel like making every day. So this is what I feel like making today. Okay, this needs to go onto the stove and get nice and warm. We're on like medium. So if you're not confident, what you really do not want to do is boil this or heat it even to the point of simmering. You're just looking for a few wisps of steam on the top. It's kind of hard to test. Maybe like don't do this if you're gonna try to sue me or something, but I like just dip my finger in, and if it's just too hot to touch, that's it. Turn the heat off. And mix it up, and now we're gonna add it to our egg mixture. Okay, we have our hot cream. This, you can test it, I mean this is just an old trick for meringue, but if you don't feel any granules, then it's dissolved. Okay, so now just dump this in slowly and whisk it in. This is called tempering. Everybody does this a little differently, but this is how I'm doing it today. So use the other hand if it pleases you. And do a little swirly swirl, because sometimes even if it's dissolved, the sugariest part is generally always at the bottom. Oh! Try not to splash yourself with almost boiling milk creamy mixture. Okay, this looks gorgeous. Now, we're gonna dump it back in the pot and we have to cook it until it gets a little thicker. I'm going to attempt, okay, let me show you how to pour. I hope this isn't a huge mess. If it is, I'll just redo it, but, okay. Fast and with confidence, you can pour one thing to another without spilling. Voila. Okay, on low, as low. Well, I'm just gonna assume you don't know what you're doing, so as low as possible. We are trying to bring the egg up to the minimum, God. We're trying to bring the egg up to the minimum like temperature that it begins to coagulate at. And because our mixture was already hot, we're actually giving ourselves a little bit of a leg up. What happens, it's kind of easier to go faster, because if you don't have a long attention span, if you put cold eggs and cold milk into a pot with the cream and everything, and you just sit there and wait for it to come up to temperature, you might walk away and then it might curdle on you. But because this is already kind of warm, we don't have to take it as far to get it to the right texture. Okay. Notice the foam on the top. That's what we're kind of trying to avoid, and that's why we don't whisk it like super a lot. But at this stage, when it's in the pot like this, I would recommend keeping it moving the whole time. And I will show you what it's like when it's ready. Okay, so we are getting very close. See that very custardy texture? That is what we are looking for. This is called a creme anglaise, and normally it has vanilla, but I don't really want to distract from the strawberry rhubarb flavor, so I think just having the sweet cream base rather than adding vanilla to it is going to be really nice. So when I saw there were wisps of steam coming up from the mixture, I turned off the heat completely, but of course the pot is still hot, and so the mixture is not going to get any hotter, but it's going to stay at the temperature that it's at right now. And some of the liquids is like the water, not liquid, some of the water in the mixture is evaporating, as you might be able to see from maybe you can see some steam, I don't know. So I want to continue stirring it and releasing some of that water, because the less water you have in your ice cream mixture, in your ice cream base, the more of a rich texture you're gonna have. So you have basically more fat and you don't get as icy of a texture. So I'm just gonna let this cook. It's just holding at the temperature that I stopped it at. And see how it's getting like, oops, thicker, and the way it's clinging to the back of the spoon like that. That's called napping the spoon. But you don't need to know that. You just need to know what it looks like, which it looks like that. Okay, yay! So So now this will just kind of cool off. Okay. Tastes so good. Great. I don't need this anymore. Actually, whoa, stop the presses. I was going to start chopping these up and show you how to make the swirl, but what I realized since I'm making the base and I'm putting the swirl in rather than mixing the fruits into the base, I could start spinning very soon. So I am going to do an ice bath now. I'm going to do an ice bath to cool this down because you need to cool it down very cold before it goes into the ice cream machine. I hope that didn't ruin anyone's day. You need an ice cream machine for this ice cream recipe. So I'm going to start cooling it down. I'm going to, at the same time, chop up the fruits. Once it's cool, we're going to get moving. Okay, glad everyone's included in that thought process. You have to mix it during this process too, or again, it's not going to have a similar texture all the way through. So those are just the rules. I didn't make them up. What you can also do, which is really nice and fun, is you could make this ice cream base one day and then you keep it in your fridge, like overnight, let's say, and then you spin it the next day. Put it in the ice cream machine where it spins around and makes ice cream. This is now it's cool enough that I can just leave it for a second, but I'm gonna put the whole thing in the fridge, including the ice. Just make sure you don't spill this over and get any of the ice water into your mixture. That would be a big bummer because you would ruin all the thickness that you just created. Great. Now I'm going to do some chopping. Anybody want to come over and oil my board for me? Looking for angsty cook to oil my board for me. Okay, this rhubarb's a little dried out, this one, but that's okay. This one's not good. This one I don't think I'm gonna use. See? It's like has holes and stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna go right into the pot. This will cook down. I don't know. I didn't measure this. I haven't made this before, as usual. So I think this might be too much rhubarb. This is gonna be more like rhubarb with a hint of strawberry versus strawberry with a hint of rhubarb. But actually, I think that's how it is most of the time, or how it used to be in strawberry rhubarb recipes. Because rhubarb grows like a weed and strawberries are harder to come by, generally speaking. Although, I don't know. Let me know your experience. I'm gonna hear someone's gonna be like, actually, strawberries grow like weeds for me, and I've never heard of rhubarb. I'm like, good for you. I should wash this. I might give it a little bit, actually. this. Strawberries, I let these go a little. Oh no, see, one got moldy. That's okay. Just get rid of that moldy one. And a little blueberry. Nice. Okay. Okay, this one was attached to the moldy one, so I'm gonna taste a little bit of it and see if it tastes moldy. No. Great. Okay. Yeah, if you see any little moldy bits, just, you know, take them off. No! Oh, heartbreak, that's okay. Good thing my floors are clean. Okay, I'm also going to, because rhubarb is actually really sour and a little, it's not bitter, it's just very sour. And so we're going to add a little sugar. We don't want this whole thing to be too sweet, but we don't want it to be super sour either. Okay, this and some water. Okay, this is like a cup of water. Ooh. Maybe I should have added that before I put the heat on, but as usual, I sometimes don't do things in the exact order that's advised. But yeah, here we are. This is gonna boil down and create a jammy, syrupy goodness. Okay, I turned the heat off. You really don't want to burn this. That would be bad. So here's the texture that I'm looking for. I can scrape a line into the bottom of the pan and it stays. And just like the creamy part of the ice cream mixture, I'm gonna let this sit in the hot pot and continue to evaporate because we're looking for less water. Moving. We're taking this and putting it in here, and then we're just gonna put it in the fridge for a little bit to get cold. But also, don't put it in the fridge for too long because it might get too jammy, so like too solid, and we want to be able to swirl it. So it's just something you have to pay attention to. Also, generally, although it would be much easier, although it would be much easier to use a silicone spatula for this, I don't really love them. First of all, mine are really old. I need new ones, and I I'm really sensitive to the flavor that they sometimes put off. So I also think it's just like kind of bad for the ice cream chemistry. I just don't think it like works. I don't know. It's like weird superstition or something. But okay, this is so good and would be really great if you already had vanilla ice cream already in your freezer and you didn't want to bother with this. Just take a big dollop of that on top of your ice cream. Call it a day. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this spoon in here because every time you take the spoon out and switch, you waste a little bit. So, everything's staying like this, going into the fridge, and then we're gonna spin. Okay, this goes on here. This goes in here. This goes on here. This goes on there. And we're rolling. You want to be quick because if you just dump some in and then you wait, that's all going to get frozen to the side, and then you're going to add more. It's, again, like, you want everything to be at the same temperature all the time, as much as possible. Now, oh yay! Is this working? Yeah. Sometimes I like to go in with a little offset. I might do that right now, and scrape the sides. So even though it has a little scraper in there, it doesn't really work that well. So I'm going to go in there with an offset, and yeah, it gets everything going. Also, like, probably not in the instruction manual to do this, so if you are doing this, this is at your own risk. Close. I'm going to check on the okay, good. Ooh. See, it's very stiff. So it's room temperature. So that's good. I basically want to take this out before it starts to melt again. So right now it's very frozen. There's some nice little chunks in there from where I've been scraping the extra frozen bits. And that's been helping to make sure the whole thing is staying a lot colder. There's some like really melted parts on here that I'm gonna try to mix in. And I'll give it 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes more. Okay, that was probably a minute. I think that's enough. Okay, work quickly. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that. I guess I might only need one of these containers, but it's good to have a second one just in case for overflow purposes. Okay. Eventually you just have to decide that what's left at the bottom is going to be your little secret snack. Okay. I'm putting it all on the top like this, and then I'm planning on folding it in. And then like moving as nearly as fast as possible. I'm going a little slow, to be honest. Okay, that's about it. Get this back and get it into the freezer. Immediatamente. And that's it. It's so delicious. Look, here's how I'm gonna do a taste. Ooh, look at this a little bit. Oh, yeah. A little more of this. Strawberry rhubarb ice cream. No. Sweet cream ice cream, or it's actually more like frozen custard, but what are you gonna do? I'm saying sweet cream ice cream with strawberry rhubarb swirl. Okay, don't add too much sugar to the strawberry rhubarb. You want to add some, but you want it to still taste sour. This is so good. I'm so happy. Check out a different episode, I don't know which one, for the actual final scoop and taste test. Mm.